Hi everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Do you remember the nursery rhyme that went, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Now, what if that were true? I mean, yes, it's a nursery rhyme, but what if that was the secret to what's really going on here in what we call life? What if we understood it on a very deep level, not from the ego, no, but on a very inner level? Life's but a dream. All you have to do is row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily. Life is but a dream. Well, if it were true, if you knew in your gut that this was true, would you be living your life differently? Would you be doing things differently? Would you be just merrily, 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 gently rowing your boat down the stream? What would that look like? What would that feel like? What would that be like? Well, for one thing, it might be a lot less stressful. In fact, it might be very, very peaceful. It would probably be enjoyable, comforting. But it's a nursery rhyme, right? But could there be more truth in that nursery rhyme than we could possibly know? What would the ego say about that idea? That this nursery rhyme is actually the truth? That life is just a dream? Well, the ego would say, yeah, right. If life is just a dream, then how come all these things happen? A dream you just wake up from, right? You're dreaming something good, bad, or otherwise. You wake up and you kind of know this is in the nighttime that the dream, well, was just a dream. But what if our everyday life was also just a dream? What if we are being dreamt? Some people might say, well, maybe we're the dreamer. Actually, maybe we're just being dreamt. Is that the cosmic joke? Something to think about. You see, I believe it's true. Life is but a dream. And some people that claim to be awakened or awakening, they've had an experience that life is a dream. It's being dreamt. And that they, the person or the body, the character, they're just part of the dream. They're playing their part in this dream. And that's all it is. But it appears real. Somehow it appears like it's actually happening. Somehow it appears like you or I, as the person, is actually involved in something called life. And all the good and the bad and the in-between that happens is actually happening. But what if that all is an illusion? Not true. And we're just a character in the dream. How would we live our life then? Probably very differently. So where's the problem? Where's that catch-22? Well, it appears to me that it's trying to decide between what feels so real in our life, ourselves who feel real, we're this body, we're this personality, we're this name, we're this is what I do person, feels so real that to say this is all a dream and that I'm just a character in this dream, well, it could even sound insane to some people, like, head to the mental institution, please. here's the thing. We, as humans, volunteered when we were star beings or just beings of light, not in form. We volunteered to come into human life, to come into form, and experience through our five senses, that's the key, what life is all about as a human. Because when we're not in form, we can't experience, we don't have those five senses. But what happens is when we drop into form, to the human body, we completely forget who we are. And then we become this character. You know, it'd be like an actor who has a role to play in a movie, and he or she is playing that role quite well, and then they actually forget that they're not that character, and they begin to live their life from that time forward as whatever that character was in the movie. Could be a king or queen, or could be a homeless person, or could be an alcoholic, or could be any part that they're playing, a very dramatic part, or maybe a very humorous part. Whatever, they get that role, they play it well, they win an Oscar, but they can't stop playing that role because now they believe that's who they are. Well, it's the same thing. Now, I don't know, I've never been an actor, and I don't know if some actors have possibly continued on whatever part they played in a movie or TV series or whatever. Probably most don't, at least not the ones that we see on the screen often. So here is that dilemma. And it's a dilemma only in our psyche, in the way that we've come into this world, come into this body, forgot completely where we came from and who we are, because that part of us that is definitely a star being or just a being, whatever you like to call that part of us that's forever and forever, it's still right there. It's just part of this experience. And it volunteered to come in and play this part, just like everybody else in its life, or my life, or your life, has come in to play a role with you. So you have your other characters. But you're the main role, you're the main guy, you're the main gal. Now, it can sound really nuts, I know, to think this way, yet I believe some of you who are listening to this certainly have an idea of what I'm talking about, particularly if you've listened to non-duality speakers, or have a sense that this is not all we are. I'm not just my body. There's more to this. Now, the part of us that came in that's not form, in order to come into form, we had to get into a lower frequency, much denser than we are if we're not in form. When we're in form, it's a much higher frequency. So we're living in this body, and it's uncomfortable, and it's not normal maybe for what we had felt before. Of course it wouldn't be, but we're thinking this is who we are. We're thinking we're this body, we're this life, we're the problems, we're the not problems, we're when it's good and we are when it's bad, and all of that. And there seems to be, though, if you really look back, like I get to do because I've lived a long life, if we look back on our life, we begin to see that there was a story that played out so many times. Like we made moves that maybe we wouldn't have agreed to do if we were really the character, not more than the character. We've had experiences that have been really frightening, overwhelming, difficult, challenging. Why would we choose to have those experiences? Well, that was part of the play, part of the story that we came in to play out. Have you ever thought about, what is my purpose here? thinking that you have control over that. Or maybe you're trying to remember. Maybe that's what we're all trying to do as we're here in this form, as a body, as a person. Maybe we're trying to figure out who we really are. Now, what about those voices inside our head? Could be our higher self. There's that ego voice that is our critic, basically. Where do all these voices come from? Have you ever had that experience that you kind of go, I don't know what happened. I just ended up here or ended up there. Something happened. I don't know. It's like fuzzy. Or you end up in a situation that you absolutely don't like. And then you wonder, why did I do that? What is this about? Or we have challenges with people. Could be someone we're engaged to or married to and realize, this isn't good. And so we go through all of that with another person. We try to explain our lives sometimes to others. And as we're explaining it, we go, wow, what a weird life. So are we in control? I mean, is it just that we're a human being, we're born, we live whatever we live of a life, we die, it's over? Is that it? And if our purpose was to be an accountant, then that's what we did. We became an accountant. We became a mother. We became a father. We had 3 children. Is that it? Maybe you were an artist or are an artist. Maybe you sing. Maybe you paint. Maybe you have a little bit more of a sense of maybe this is your purpose in a way, or this is how you express yourself. But do you believe that you are that artist? So here's the key from my point of view, is I think we have to look at what possibly could be an illusion. In other words, what are we really seeing versus what is really happening? And if we could really grasp on a gut level, life is but a dream, would we change our life? Or could we? Or are we even in control of that? Are we the driver? Well, we probably have some free will. Things can be presented and we can say yay or nay at times. But the reality is the whole script's been written for our life. And we're just playing it out. That's the truth. We come into the body, we choose our parents, we choose everybody for the script. Maybe they even come and audition to be part of your script. And then we all drop into these different looking bodies. And then we forget what we're doing and we think this is real rather than we're dreaming it. And we're dreaming it because we want to experience life in form. Because that's when we can experience the taste, the smell, the seeing, the hearing, all of those things. And then we experience the part of where we have trauma or drama and what that feels like. And we experience all the ways that we handle things, or we experience lots of money and we're wealthy, or we experience no money and we're poor. I mean, it's the whole thing. It's everything that you see out there in life when you're walking down the street, or you're driving your car, or you're at your workplace, or you're just at home. It doesn't matter. It's everything that we see, we think we see. It's just an illusion, but we're playing it out. It's an illusion in that it's not real. It's an illusion that it's no different than when you go to the theater and you see a movie. It's on the screen. Or you go to live theater. You go to Broadway and you see a fabulous play, and these characters are playing out each piece. And oftentimes in the movie theater, or even in plays that are done very well, you get connected and you forget who you are, even where you are, and you are totally involved in that play or that movie. Something scary happens and you scream, or something sad happens and you cry because you start to believe that that's real. But it's not. That's exactly what's going on here. It's exactly what's going on. But the ego can't handle that idea. The ego is certain that it's here to protect. So it gets very, very frightened, just like a little child gets very, very frightened and starts speaking in terms of protecting you. Speaking in terms of, oh my God, this is going to happen, and then we're going to be homeless, and then we're going to be in trouble, or we could be in jail, or whatever the storyline is. That ego part of our mind is definitely playing that out, doing a good job of it. So why did we even come here in the first place? Well, to experience it, but to wake up. To understand that this has been a dream. Yeah, it's just been row, row, row your boat merrily down the stream. That's it. Life is but a dream. Whoever thought a nursery rhyme could hold so much truth? But it does. It does. So, if you're not freaked out or deciding this person's crazy, why am I listening to her? Here's what I suggest. In order to try to get closer to the truth of who you are, because who you are is not this body, and it's not you being a character in this body. And how do you know that? Let's look at this. This body is born as an infant. It comes in as an infant, and then it grows into toddler stage, and then it goes into the elementary school stage. And you know what I'm saying? It grows and it becomes different stages, and it becomes then adults, who you are now. And the interesting thing is as we get older, we'll say something like, I don't feel 45. I feel like I'm 25. Or as you hit 60, I don't feel 60. I don't know what it is. I know my body is 60, but I don't feel like I'm 60. I feel like I'm 30. I don't feel like I'm 80. I feel like I'm 45. So that part of us that's not the body, because the body's aging, but we just came in to play a role, that lets you know right then and there that you can't be this body. If you were the body, you would feel the exact age of the body. But we don't. I mean, I would say very few people do. Yes, somebody maybe that's quite ill, could be. Maybe not even then. We tend to remember or to be with the times that we remember when we did this or remember when we did that when we were younger. Feels like yesterday. So there's a clue right there, don't you think? The body ages, but you don't. Strange. Body ages, but that inner part doesn't. So here's what can help in starting to uncover this mystery to whatever degree you can. It's to really start to go within and really ask your guides, your all the guides that said, okay, you go in to the body, you take that leap, we're going to be with you, though you won't be able to see us, but you'll be able to hear us if you listen quietly. And we're going to help you and support you in going through whatever you're going through. Because we don't forget the truth up here. Our guides don't. They know exactly what happened. They know we came in with an agreement to do whatever we were going to do, to be our character of whatever it was, etc. They know what the whole game's about. But they can't tell us if we don't listen. They can talk, which they do, but we're not listening. So, one of the keys to really grasping this idea that life is just a dream and we're a character in it being dreamt is to really spend quality time in quiet in just sitting in quiet. Some people call it meditating. I don't care what it's called. You need to take time every day to practice to get in touch with that part of you that is an incredible guide that can help you in so many ways. So you don't have to take so many detours to go this direction when you should have gone that direction. But we have to learn to listen, so that's the deal. It just isn't like one morning we'll wake up and all of a sudden we got it. I know it happens occasionally, or it sounds like it does to some people. But for the most of us, that's not what happens. We really need to go within to discover the truth. And the only place we're going to discover that truth is within, not by being out in the external world and thinking that we're an actual character or a person and a body, and that we have all these problems and we have all these challenges and yada yada. There's a time and a place to say, it's over, I don't want to play this game anymore like that. Because you see, if we really can wake up out of this dream, really see it for what it is, it can be fantastic. Because we start seeing things we've never seen before, we start living things we've never lived before. It is, these gifts start coming in, it's we get it. We so get it, and the rest of the ride is glorious. It's just glorious. I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do, because if it was an easy thing to do, all 7-something billion of us would be knowing that life is a dream. So one thing that I've done, and this has helped me, is I kind of made that nursery rhyme my mantra, particularly when things get challenging or I'm really caught up in being that character. Then I repeat to myself, life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And I'll say that to myself throughout the day when I find myself getting anxious or stressed or resisting whatever's going on. And maybe I have to do that many, many times in the day. And some days I just forget, right? But that is a clue, or I think a good tool to be able to use, because that brings us right down to, boom, the truth. And that also can help that you kind of deal with the ego side of you that wants to save you and wants to protect and kind of gets freaked out over this idea. But if you can assure that ego side of you, just like you would assure a child that everything's okay, we're good, we're good. In fact, this can be great. So that that ego can calm down. You can't completely get rid of the ego. You can't kill it, can't get rid of it. You need it for certain things, to make some plans or buy a airplane ticket or those things. That's part of that ego mind. But you can definitely tame it. You can help it. And that's helping you. So use your imagination even. I mean, what do you have to lose, right? About thinking about you're a character being played in a dream. And the storyline, you were part of it. You agreed to, okay, here's how it should go. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. How many acts could there be? Maybe there's several stories. I think I couldn't be one story, oh my God. Had so many experiences that it would have to be many, many plays. Start to look at your life like that. I know for me, the other thing that really helps is when I do look back over all the years and where I've lived and what I've done and all the characters, because as we grow and change, then we change the roles that we're playing in a way. Even though we're still feeling like we're this body, well, we're this body married to yada yada. Now we're this body divorced from yada yada. And now we're single. Now we're a single mother. And all the roles that we play, so we can switch roles, to fit the situation, to fit the part of the play that we're in. Kind of fun, huh? So start to look back though on your life and even try to remember, like, well, how did that exactly happen? I can't exactly remember, but if you keep doing this, I think like myself, when I look back, I have to say, you know what? That had to be a dream. All those things couldn't have happened. I don't even remember some of it now, and how would that be if it wasn't a dream? It's like, you know how it's hard to remember your dreams? Sometimes you'll be having a dream and you'll think, I want to remember this dream. Some people, they can get up and write it down so they'll remember. But for most of us, we hardly remember our dreams. Or we remember them in a simple, brief kind of, it was something like this. Some dreams we do remember. Life is exactly the same when you look back. And it'll seem like, that kind of seems like a dream. I don't remember exactly everything. Or maybe you think you remember and you're having a conversation with your spouse about something that you guys did 30 years ago, and he has a completely different memory of what it was, and you have another memory. Okay, who's right? Nobody. Just a dream. Yeah, just a dream. So, I don't know, I felt kind of enticed to share that today. When I get these insights, or I call them downloads, whatever, about life being a dream, and kind of go into that inner part of me and thinking, wow, how cool that could be, right? Well, it is cool. Am I completely there yet and absolutely have awakened to the place where I'm strictly this character? No, but I catch myself seeing that. There's times when I'm talking to somebody or I'm doing something and I'm kind of observing, you know, it's like, here's this person, the body, but here's this part of me that's not in form, that's kind of observing, like, in a very subtle way, like, feels like a dream. It feels like I'm a dreamer. Feels like not quite real. Yeah, I know it's challenging, but it's also on the other side is exciting. So why not give it a shot? Give it a shot and see if maybe you can have an experience of it. You know, people have mystical experiences, what they call mystical, all the time, and that includes the fact that they're not the body, that they are just a character playing a role. Pretty groovy. Yeah. Okay. Love to hear your feedback on this. If you have some, please leave a comment below. If you've had certain experiences or what's happened for you about this whole idea of you're not the body and you are being dreamt, or maybe you feel like you're the dreamer, however you look at it. Love to hear some comments from you. Also, if you like the video, please click like and also subscribe. And then there's that little bell next to subscribe. If you click on that, then you'll be informed when new videos are coming up that we're making. All right. Thanks so much for being here and listening, guys. Take care. Love you guys. Bye for now.